Such a crazy time in the world right now. We're in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. We've all been cooped up, quarantined. Hopefully we're on the backside of this, and in the next couple weeks we'll get back to normal life. When I say normal, I mean there's no telling what normal is after we get out of this. And we know it's all going to change, but one thing that hasn't changed is the ocean. The ocean has been on fire. So we ran offshore and found a pallet floating in about 100 foot. Because the traffic out there was minimal, the pallet was just full of life. It looked like it had been untouched all day. A giant loggerhead turtle had his head wedged inside of this pallet. So we jumped in, swam over. We were going to remove the pallet from the loggerhead's head, but it turned out he was using it as flotation or something. I don't know what the circumstances were. The turtle actually freed itself, and he just swam around with us for a few minutes. He was just the top of the life chain that was around that pallet. There was giant tripletails, there were Wahoo, there were Mahi, there were Cobia. There was everything that we came out with the intention of shooting. The only problem was there were so many bull sharks, and they were either being territorial of the pallet and all the life around it, or they were just fired up for some crazy reason on the full moon. But we were unable to even attempt to shoot anything, because every time we would make a motion or any sort of action other than just laying on the surface, you would immediately have a shark swimming right at you to check you out. It was pretty sketchy, but seeing that we didn't shoot anything, we hung out in the water for about 15 minutes, and it was awesome. We saw probably a dozen to maybe 20 wahoos, a couple different big schools of dolphin, a couple of different cobias. The tripletails were interacting to the point that they were almost running into our masks. And we aren't talking about just little tripletails. These things were the size of doormats. It was just a wild, wild scene. You would never find that with life on it, because it would have been fished by so many people. But because of the virus and the ramps being closed down and so much less activity on the water, that pallet had not been touched all day from what we could tell. And there was just life in abundance around it. It was amazing. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Even though there wasn't much meat in the box, there weren't any pictures of us shooting huge fish, it was still one of the most epic days I've had here in West Palm. And I am pumped, and I can't wait to get some pencil on paper and eventually some of this onto canvas. I mean, just an epic day. Epic. It's the only way to explain it.
No, fuck no. That was so fucking sick. We had wahoos, we had tripletail, we had loggerheads caught in crates, sharks everywhere. This was amazing.